name Patrice. I'm thankful for my friends, my family, my son with so much personality. I'm thankful for my health and my career, and I'm able to do anything I want.
Patrice Wilson was kidnapped as she was leaving Detroit Receiving Hospital after her shift had ended on May 13, 2023. Her ex-boyfriend, Jamir Miller, is the suspect for her kidnapping. Wilson was found the next day dead in her SUV. Miller then turned himself in to Detroit police Sunday afternoon and is now awaiting charges. Officials are seeing a pattern with Miller, and two other Metro Detroit women have shared similarities with Wilson. Prior to the abduction and murder of Wilson, allegedly conducted by Miller, a video went viral on TikTok of a man who is believed to be the 36-year-old breaking into Wilson's home. Wilson's mother said the two used to date for a while. She has been trying to get away from him, explained Livingston. As more information about Miller unfolds, police say they are reopening a missing case of another ex-girlfriend of Miller's. Bianca Green went missing back in 2011 and she was never found. Family members say Green spent a year trying to get away from the father of her child, who happens to be Miller. Family members say that Green claimed Miller was abusive. Detroit Police Chief James White said Wilson was viciously murdered and that Detroit lost another daughter.
Jameer, you breaking in my house? Like, are you serious? You breaking in my house, Jameer?
Why would I break in your house?
Why are you at my door with gloves on and all that?
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today. I want to start by offering my condolences to the family and friends of Patrice Wilson. It's a tragedy that someone like Miss Wilson would be taken away from this world so young and so tragically in this horrific way. She was young and she had her whole life ahead of her. She was dedicated to serving and helping others as a nurse and putting others before herself. Miss Wilson has been described as cherished by her family and her friends, and as well as her coworkers. She's also a mother, obviously. She's a daughter, and for her to have her life taken away from her just before Mother's Day is absolutely heartbreaking. As I begin, I want to stress that this is an active investigation. The information is preliminary. We will share with you the facts as we know them as of right now, as of today. But there are some aspects of the investigation that I will not be able to get into. Again, I know the public has many questions, and I cannot get into all of the details. I cannot jeopardize this investigation. As I indicated, it is an active investigation. Here are the facts as we know them thus far. On Saturday, May 13th, at approximately 7:40 a.m. in the 4200 block of St. Antoine, Miss Wilson was kidnapped by a suspect identified as Jamir Miller. The suspect was wearing a wig, described as a blonde or red wig, trying to disguise his identity. Once notified, the Detroit Police Department acted immediately. The initial call came into the Wayne State University Police Department. We were notified due to the nature of the call of a kidnapping. We deployed our assets with the goal of finding our suspect and Miss Wilson before the situation ended in the most worst possible outcome. A number of units participated in looking for our victim, as well as looking for our suspect as we identified who he was. They included our organized crime unit, our major crimes unit, our homicide division, our commercial auto theft division, our fugitive apprehension team, and our special response team, as well as our homicide task force and missing persons. I highlight those because I want the community to know that we activated all of these units with the efforts of identifying where she was located and identifying our suspect. Our headquarters surveillance unit was also engaged in attempting to identify where our suspect was located. I also want to thank the Michigan State Police and the Wayne State Police Department, as well as the Inkster Police Department. This is a very complex case, and as you can hear, it touched a number of different communities, and consequently, we had those respective agencies involved in attempting to identify where she was. A number of search warrants were executed in Inkster, Detroit. We also had the support of the Novi Police Department. Unfortunately, yesterday at approximately 2:15, or strike that. Let me go back and pick up one last part. After several search warrants were executed, the suspect, feeling the pressure of this investigation, due to all of the search warrants, all of the activities by those agencies that I just identified, the suspect negotiated his surrender via his lawyer, and he was taken into custody at the DDC at 2:15 p.m. On yesterday, and that's the Detroit Detention Center. Again, this investigation is ongoing. We are currently finalizing our investigators' report to submit to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office for their review and hopefully their charges. I've said this before, and I cannot stress it enough. Domestic violence continues to be a problem in our community. We have resources. We have domestic violence victim assistance units in our agency, and they can be reached at 313-883-1660. Again, that's 313-883-1660, and they are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It crosses all demographics. Domestic violence is something that continues to plague not only our city, but this country. We have seen a number of tragic events around this state.
Her son cannot hold her and say Happy Mother's Day to her today. That bothers me. And she's been trying to get away from him because she know he was toxic for her. I've been told him a mother knows.
Now, as a mother who had to see her daughter at the morgue today, she says,
yeah, I can't say the perpetrator name because you took the life out of her. And I seen it today.
She tries to think of happier times.
She was even thinking about going back to school. And I was like, oh, what you gonna be, an anesthesiologist nurse? You gonna be making that money, girl.
But then it hits that she's gone. Patrice's grandmother, Pamela Golden, can't make sense of it.
She knew what she wanted to do, how she wanted to do. She was a good girl. She didn't deserve this. She definitely didn't deserve this.
Detroit Medical Center released a statement tonight. It reads, "It is with deep sadness that we offer heartfelt condolences to the family, friends, and DMC colleagues of cherished nurse leader Patrice Wilson, as well as Patrice's mother, another dedicated DMC team member. Patrice was not just a coworker, but a loving friend to many at the DMC. Grief counseling is available for all staff at our Adult Central Campus Hospital."
Today, the ex-boyfriend of a murdered nurse is in custody, bringing an end to the manhunt that started when Patrice Wilson was abducted and killed over the weekend. Now we've learned the man in custody has connections to another case of a woman's disappearance more than a decade ago. Sean Lay is live with all these new developments. Sean.
Startling new developments, Kimberly. Good evening to you. Jameer Miller, we're told, turned himself in yesterday, police say, in connection with that kidnapping over the weekend of nurse Patrice Wilson, as you mentioned, and she was later found murdered. Let's go back to 2011. Miller had a girlfriend at the time. Her name was Bianca Green. They have a child together. She went missing. Now we're told that case is being ripped wide open. To March 25th of 2011. That's when the family of an expected mother named Bianca Green urged the public to help find her. She had gone missing from Romulus and has never been found. Green's family asking for help at a Crime Stoppers event at that time. And standing right there, Bianca Green's boyfriend at the time, Jameer Miller, the same man police say abducted Patrice Wilson Saturday morning. Detroit Police James White says the missing case of Bianca Green, and if Miller is involved in her disappearance, is now a new and wide open investigation.
I was made aware of that as a part of this investigation, and everything's going to be looked at, including anything from that case as well. I don't know the status of that case. I know our detectives are in contact with the agency of origin on that particular missing persons. We're going to cooperate with them, pull their files, and we'll be working together to see if there's any correlation or if there's anything we can help them with.
Back here live, here's the latest. Miller, with his attorney, turned himself in yesterday to the Detroit Correction Facility. He's being held there tonight. Kimberly waiting tomorrow to see if charges will be filed in the nurse case of Patrice Wilson. And then re-examining this old case from 2011, Green's family hoping for new information. And again, police say they're just starting to scratch the surface of that one. Detroit police comparing notes with Romulus police. We'll keep an eye on it. We're live tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4, back to you.
Incredible. Okay, Sean, thank you.
Now we got to go forward. You know, it's still a lot of more questions that need to be asked. But we right now, we need to try to get her laid out. And my daughter's kind of really upset right now.